You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Produk. You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast, episode 126. Did y'all miss the kid? How could you not miss me? How could you? I mean, a lot of y'all been hitting me up like, yo, P, when the next episode dropping, bong, bong. I got you, man. I got you. Today is Sunday the 21st. This episode is dropping tomorrow on July 22nd. Big shouts out to my oldest son. Happy birthday. He is 19. He'll be 19. It's fatherhood has been a blessing. It's been a blessing, man. It's been pretty dope. You know, fatherhood changed me a lot. I think if I tell people all the time, if I didn't have my kids saved my life, because if I didn't have kids, I probably would have been wilding. I would have got a lot accomplished. No shade at them. I love them. But I would have probably been wilding. I was always a pretty disciplined dude to a certain extent. Like, I had a wild Gemini side. So I don't know what I would have been doing out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? But happy birthday, my son. I love you. I appreciate you. I am proud of you. I am proud of the young man that you have become and you are becoming. He's doing his thing. My son is doing his thing. My son is a very, very dope producer. He also just hooked up with a production group, so they're working together. He's still working on his own. He's in college. It's life is beautiful. Life is a blessing, man. We got some things we got to talk about. So this has been, first of all, entertainment has just been all over the place lately. Where do we start? You know what I'm saying? Because there's like a whole slew of things. There's a whole bubble, bang, bang. We're going to cook it up. Let's talk about the Jake Paul and Mike Perry fight. I am not a Jake Paul hater, and I've said this before. I love what Jake Paul is doing as far as the business side. He's putting a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets that deserve it. First of all, we all know Jake Paul was supposed to fight Mike Tyson last night. Mike Tyson had a medical scare on an airplane. My thoughts and opinion on that, I think Mike Tyson would have knocked him out first round. I don't think Jake Paul is equipped to. He's not equipped to fight somebody of Mike Tyson's caliber, but Mike Tyson is older. I think that it's a money grab for Jake Paul and for Mike Tyson. If I was Mike Tyson, if I was his age, I would have accepted the fight too. Netflix was going to pay out a lot of money. I don't think it's morally right to fight a man that's like 58, 59 years old just to have bragging rights. Oh, I fought Mike Tyson. That man is more than double your age. First of all, okay, so boom, fast forward. He had a medical incident on a flight about a month and a half ago. The fight goes to Mike Perry. Mike Perry basically took that fight with about a month and a half notice. Taking a fight on that short of a notice is risky. It's very risky. Now, we've seen instances where the fighter who did take that fight on short notice has won, but it's risky. Here's the thing, right? And I was talking to my son about this. The science of boxing and bare knuckle is very different. It's similar, but it's different. First of all, I think Mike Perry is dope. Mike Perry was 9-0. He had a 9-0 UFC streak. Then it kind of he took some losses after that. I don't know what happened with his contract, but he didn't fight UFC after that. He went into bare knuckle. I didn't know until yesterday Mike Perry owns part of UFC, and Mike Perry is undefeated. He owns part of BKFC. Mike Perry owns part of BKFC. He's been undefeated in BKFC. They call him the something of violence. I forgot what the actual moniker is for them. It's kind of wild, right? Mike Perry can take a beating. This dude, I watched this dude fight. He's been bloody, fighting to the end. He has a lot of heart. What concerned me about Mike Perry before this fight was his sensory skills, his motor skills. When you watch Mike Perry talk, you listen to him talk, you watch his interviews, his sensory seems a little delayed. And that's what happens to a fighter. This man's been fighting he's 32 years old. He's been fighting, to my knowledge, his whole life. He's been fighting professionally for many years. Right now, you got this man, 32 years old, fought in UFC, fighting bare knuckle. Bare knuckle was serious. I don't even think they use mouth guards. And I know BYB, I think they don't. I don't know about BKFC, but most of these bare knuckle leagues, they don't use mouth guards. There's no padding on gloves. There's no gloves at all. Nothing. They're just straight knuckles. Okay, his sensory is a little slow. It's a little slow now. It was smart business-wise for him to take the fight. It was smart business-wise for Jake Paul to accept him being in. His team might have reached out to Mike Perry. I think it was great. But a bare-knuckle fighter, they train with gloves. They train like boxers, but the science of it is a lot different. That Mike Perry didn't have any defense when they fought last night. Now, don't get it twisted, and I'm going to just throw this out there. I am not shaming Mike Perry. I think Mike Perry did an incredible job. For Mike Perry to have not had a professional boxing match in I don't know how long, or if he ever has, and to go on a month and a half, maybe 2 month notice from bare knuckle to boxing a dude who was 10-1, a younger fighter who was 10-1, and to go 6 rounds is incredible. For Mike Perry to take this fight on short notice, go 6 rounds with Jake Paul, and have Jake Paul bleeding during the fight, that says a lot. Mike Perry caught Jake Paul with some really good hits. The thing is, like I said, it's the sensory issues. Mike Perry's sensory issues are a little slower. He didn't have good defense. So Jake Paul's jab was eating him. Jake Paul's signature punch, that overhand, it used to just be an overhand right. He actually developed a really good overhand left too. But that overhand punch, Mike Perry ate that a few times. Now he did put Mike Perry down in the first round. Mike Perry got right back up. Mike Perry got dropped like 3-4 times and got right back up. We got to tip our hats to Mike Perry, dog. Like I don't think we've ever seen anything like this, where we seen a fighter take a fight on this short notice that wasn't even a fighter of that genre of fighting, and go almost the distance with a fighter who's been pretty much dominating everyone that he's fought. Now, here's the thing. I want to get to Jake Paul. We talked about Mike Perry first. I want to get to Jake Paul. I am not shaming Jake Paul. I think what Jake Paul has done for boxing, the crossover fights he's doing, he honestly at one point somewhat made boxing exciting again when it kind of wasn't as exciting. Boxing, to me, boxing was always exciting, but in the eyes of other people, they felt like it wasn't, which is crazy to me. That means y'all just wasn't real fans, right? I love the fact that he's opened that door and lifted that glass ceiling to where you could kind of come from any walk of life and get into the ring and fight. I know a lot of guys that if you took them off the street and you train them for 6 months, they could probably go pro and get a belt. I know a lot of guys like that can do that, but they don't all get that opportunity. So he's given that opportunity. He's also put a lot of money in the hands of fighters who've been fighting their heart out, bleeding, bloody, getting hurt, getting broken bones, bad eye sockets, cauliflower ears, and he's finally giving them the payday that they deserve. They finally got those paydays that they deserve. Nate Diaz deserved that payday. They deserve that. Mike Perry, I don't know how much Mike Perry made, but he deserved it. I'm not saying Mike Perry's broke because he co-owns part of BKFC, but he deserved that payday from last night. And that just actually pushed, that was a huge clout jump for Mike Perry and BKFC. Huge clout jump. But Jake Paul is what, 25, maybe 26, or he's 25 going on 26, right? He's about 7 years younger than Mike Perry. This is what I want to say to Jake Paul. Jake Paul, he might never see this clip. He might never hear this clip. I'm not shaming Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul has a lot of potential. I think if he doesn't step it up within the next 3-4 years, that potential is done. Now, that window is closing, all right? And the window I'm talking about is the window of experience. You got guys that have been boxing since they were little kids. He was wrestling, and I think him and his brother were state champs, or the brother was a state champ. They did really good with wrestling, right? Wrestling is a form, of a physical sport, but it's not boxing. So for him to jump into boxing and dedicate his life to it, and he's training every day, he's in great shape. He's training every day. I think that's great. Just because you train and spar every day, that's not going to make you great. What's going to make you great is experience. It's the experience that's what's going to make you great, and he's not getting that experience on a large scale. When we watch him on the world stage and he's in front of that crowd was sold out, like 17,000 people last night. I believe 17,500 roughly, something like that, but it was sold out. You can't keep going in front of these sold out crowds and not fighting real boxers. Jake Paul needs to know what it's like experience-wise to get in the ring in front of a sold out crowd and be losing a fight and forced to come back. He needs to know what it's like to be in a 12-round fight. It's round 8 and he's down and you have to get a knockout. If he doesn't start fighting real boxers, he needs to be willing to take a pay cut, get into a ring with somebody that's 15-1, 15-2, who's ranked better than him, and really have to fight his way out of it. Until he does that, he's cutting himself short culturally. He's going to make money, but culturally, he's never going to be fully accepted into that boxing world until he starts to do that. G is a boy product, Life of Produk Podcast, episode 126. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Yeah, what up, Mr. Boy Product? You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 126. If you need interview sponsorships or advertising, it is lifeofproduk@gmail.com. or corporate.ent@gmail.com. That is corporate with the K. Let's get your brand out there. Let's get you buzzing, baby. Yo, man, shouts out. I gotta give a crazy shout out. Shouts out to my cousin Quita and her husband B. I was back in Brooklyn last weekend for their wedding. Beautiful wedding. It was a nice rooftop wedding in Dumbo at the W Loft, man. It was cool. And then they had your boy hosted. I'm crashing weddings all summer, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm crashing weddings all summer. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see the footage from that. I was at a wedding yesterday. I was at another one. My boy Jawanza, shouts out to him and his beautiful wife. They got married. They tied the knot yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. You know what I mean? Yo, let me tell you something. If I start getting booked to host weddings, it's lit. It's ain't no shame in my game, brother. It's lit. It's lit. Let's do it, man. But shout out to them, man. Bringing their families together, you know, bridging that gap, for loving each other. And I pray that God blesses your marriage. I pray that He protects your marriage and your household. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Bang, bang. Yeah, today's episode 126. Episode 126 is titled Emotional Bankruptcy. We got some stuff to talk about today. So we're going to talk about bankruptcy. What is the meaning of bankruptcy? It's the state of being completely lacking in a particular value or quality. Quotations, the moral bankruptcy of turning away desperate people. So a lot of us are going through things right now. A lot of us are going through things. You know, when we go to the bank, we make withdrawals and deposits, right? So on the terms of emotional bankruptcy, people are emotionally empty. They don't have anything there. People have been through so much over I would just say the last 4 years. People have been going through things for years, right? Since their life started. But the last 4 years with COVID, the inflation issues, a lot of stuff, you know, has been detrimental to society and to the functionality of it. Hence, our lives are not functioning properly. A lot of people are going through it. So you go to the bank, you make a deposit, you make a withdrawal, right? Deposits on the emotional side is happiness. Happiness is a form of currency. In 2024, happiness will actually keep you alive longer. I was watching a video of a doctor or nurse, and they said that a man was in the hospital. He had cancer, I believe, really, really terminally ill. And the man purposely started watching comedy every day, and the man actually lived longer, which is dope. I think it's dope. I think happiness is a form of currency, and it's the most underrated form of currency. And if y'all don't believe me, listen to how many people, look up how many people die from stress. Stress is a killer. The deposits that we have, they hold more weight than we know. But it's like, okay, where are you getting this deposit of happiness from? Emotional bankruptcy. You know, for me, you know, you guys know my story. I told y'all my mother died 4 years ago. She's been dead for about 4.5 or going on 4.5 years now. And when she was alive, just a quick phone call, a 5 to 10 minute phone call from her would make my day. I would have the best day ever. Or being able to sit with her and talk just for 20, 30 minutes. That would make my day. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury anymore. She's gone. All I have now are the memories. So when you go to the bank and you go make a deposit or whatever, you get a little ATM slip. You get a little slip or whatever. That is your transactional history or whatever of it. That's your transactional proof. All you have now are memories. So that transactional record are the memories that you had with those people or that special person that is no longer here. You know what I mean? So any of you guys, you know, if you have parents, if you have loved ones that you love, keep those voicemails, keep those photos that you took with them, keep those videos that you took with them, because one day you're not going to have them here anymore. Emotional bankruptcy. I remember talking to my son, man, and we were talking, and it was a few months ago, and I was like, you know, how do you feel since we left? We left Brooklyn, we went to Jersey, and then we came to North Carolina. I was like, how do you feel, you know, with us being here? He's my oldest son. And he was like, I'm actually kind of happy that we came. He's like, I was worried about you. I'm not you worried about me for. I'm good. Bong, bong, I'm from Brooklyn. And he was like, no. He was like, you was in a dark place, and you was in a place so bad that it seemed as if you just wanted something to happen. Like you didn't care you didn't care what would happen, so something could happen. And I got to thinking about it, and he was 100% right. He was 100%. I was at a point in life where I was so emotionally bankrupt. I was at a point in life where I woke up wanting somebody to try me that day. I did, man. And it's embarrassing to admit it, but that's where I was at mentally and emotionally. I just lost my mother. COVID happened. Financial stuff was happening. Prior to the year before that, the late year before that, I went through a really bad breakup. I initiated the breakup because just everything was going bad with it. And you know, it came with consequences and stuff like that. You have to bounce back. You have to get back to who you are and who you were. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this, right? It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong with starting over. I didn't start over a few times. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is to not be where you were. It's to be better than where you were. See, if you make the decision to start over, you have to make a conscious decision. Don't just be like, I'm gonna start over because you're a quitter. If you're a quitter, then that's bad. And I'm being for real. I'm being for real. Being a quitter is unacceptable. It is. I'm not saying that starting over makes you a quitter. It doesn't. Starting over is a form of self-love because you realize that what you're doing at that moment is not working. It's not working for you. It's not working for your environment. It's not working for your household. It might not be working for your children. So I encourage people to start over, but you have to consciously understand that I'm going to start over and I'm going to be 5 to 10 steps ahead of where I was. You have to consciously make this decision and you have to develop a plan. People like to just quit stuff and then, I'm going to figure it out. No. You know what I'm saying? I believe in letting go and letting God. But at a certain point, I believe God is going to be like, okay, I just gave you the tools to do this, and then you just threw it away like usual. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, it's disrespectful to the Lord to just say, I'm going to leave it in his hands. I'm going to let him do it. No, he got like billions of other people to take care of. Like, come on, stop doing that. If you were given the tools and the opportunity, you need to capitalize on that. Now, sometimes you have to reset and start over to reset those tools and opportunities. And I am all for that. If you're doing stuff, if you're in a relationship or marriage and it's not working, if you're losing yourself, if you're in a relationship or marriage and you have to constantly hold back how you feel, you have to constantly hold back the things you want to say. If you have to curve all of your morals and values for that person, that is not the person you need to be with. It's not. You don't need to be with that person. You don't. If you're with somebody and you don't agree with the religion that they follow, you don't need to be with that person. If you're with somebody, you don't agree with the political values that that person has, you don't need to be with that person. And that's a conversation that nobody talks about. People think that they could, just because they love a person, you can make it work. No, nah. No, it's not going to work. If you and that person don't see eye to eye when it comes to political views or religious views, it is not going to work. Somebody is going to come up short in their feelings of how they feel. You're going to become emotionally bankrupt. You're not going to have anything left in you. You're going to forget who you are. You are. I know people that still actively date people, and they become like a chameleon. They just blend into everything that this person has going on in their life. That's not fair. That ain't fair to you. That's not fair to you. And if you're bringing kids to that situation, that ain't fair to your kids, because imagine your kids is 10 to mid-teens. Now, you've been teaching them what you've been teaching them for all these years of their lives. And just because you dating somebody or you married somebody, you should just change up on them. No, that is wrong on every level. And it's confusing to a child as well. It's really confusing. Now they looking at you like, you know what I'm saying? I know people, and they tell me stories about their parents, how their parents just switch up. Every time they date somebody, they just change. They're this way now. They're that way now. Oh, they're that way now. They went back to that person. Oh, they're that way again. That's whack. That's whack. That shows you are not strong as an individual. You have no strength in you. You have no strength. You're a copycat, and you just failed yourself and you failed your kids. So I encourage everyone to implement forms of self-love, to learn themselves, really, really learn themselves, to keep that emotional bankruptcy from really, really hitting to that point where you were just empty. Cheers, the Boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast, episode 126, Emotional Bankruptcy. We will be right back with the third segment of the show. Yeah, what up, Mr. Boy Product, and now back with the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 126, man. I'm sorry I kept y'all, waiting for a new show to drop. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm playing. Now, I really am sorry. Like, I had a lot going on. Life be life. And you know what I'm saying? I had 2 weddings back to back. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the wedding crasher, baby. It's official. I'm about to put my booking info, man. Make me like a little Canva flyer with my suit and my shades on. You know what I'm saying? Get this thing. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm not playing. I'm being so serious. Yo, let me tell you something. If life did a whole 180, and God was like, you know what? I'm gonna use you to host these weddings. Yo, that's what we doing, man. We lit. I'm there. I'm in the building, brother. You know what I'm saying? I will host a bar mitzvah. Ain't no shame with it. Cut the check, baby. But yeah, it's the boy product. Episode 126. Emotional bankruptcy is what we talk about. We talked about, the deposits and stuff. Let's talk about the withdrawals. The withdrawals are emptying out your bank account. The withdrawals are emptying out your soul. You ever felt like your soul was empty? You ever felt like that? And I told y'all how I felt a few years ago when I was going through things. That's exactly how I felt. I felt like my soul was empty. I felt emotionally bankrupt. I had no feelings in me a few years ago. At one point, like I really didn't care what was happening to nobody. If it wasn't my kids, I didn't care what was happening to nobody. And that's a scary place to be. That is a dark place to be. And I pray to God I'm never there again. I don't ever want to be there again. Never. The combination of being in a dark place, emotionally bankrupt, and being a Gemini is crazy. It's wild, brother. Oh my God. It wasn't cool. Like, there was days I woke up just empty. There were days I wouldn't play no music. I get in a car, drive to work. I wouldn't even play no music. I wouldn't watch TV. I wouldn't do nothing. People would call me and text me. I wouldn't respond. I was a shell. I was a shell. And it was like, okay, I had to really pray my way through it to really get out of that slump, man. I was in a slump, man. I wasn't going out. I wasn't hanging out. And all I was doing was going to work, going home and working out. This was like around the COVID time when the gyms was closed. But I bought a new retention band. I was in the room, in my bedroom, doing sets. I'm doing push-ups. Like I kind of needed to feel some form of intensity and pain at that point. When I'm going through things, I always work out whether I'm happy, sad. When I'm going through things, I think I don't want to say it's a problem, but I work out harder, and I will go to the gym late, and I will work out to the point where I'm in pain because I want to just go home, shower, go to sleep. Like I will work out until my body hurts. And it's something, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't figured that out yet. Hopefully it's not a bad thing and I don't hurt myself. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something, we all have our own thing that we do, that we use to get through stuff. These withdrawals are taken away from our emotional bank account, which is our soul, our spirit. It's our willpower. These withdrawals are losses. Losses and these withdrawals run neck and neck. There are people that have lost their job as of lately. I lost a job last year. I lost my job and my crib the same weekend. You know what I'm saying? You talking about, oh man. Oh man. I think I handled it very well. For the most part, I handled it very well. I could have handled it differently. I could have pulled up on a regional manager. I didn't do that. I handled it very well, but I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't happy about it, and it wasn't. I didn't feel forms of embarrassment. I literally only felt anger. I wasn't sad. I didn't cry about it. I didn't feel like, oh man, look at people looking at me. No, I just felt anger. I mean, high levels of anger. I used to have when I was a kid, I used to get mad and my eyes would turn red, like red, like bloodshot red. And it wasn't red from like, how people cry and they eyes get teary. It wasn't like that. It just turned red. And it stopped. I think it stopped around 10, 11 years old, but you could see like the little veins, red veins on my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So, I lost my job and I lost my crib. I had a very nice crib. I was right by the lake. And I really loved that area. The traffic was terrible, but I really loved that area. But listen, man, let me tell you something. Not every loss is a loss. There wins come out of that. I think the reason why I was able to stay emotionally stable after the anger passed, I was able to stay emotionally stable because I didn't have to deal with the BS over there anymore. There was a lot of BS from that job. That was a very, very dirty company. That company is going through some stuff legally now and trying to throw me under the bus for a situation I have nothing to do with. I got a call. First of all, I don't answer my phone. If I don't know you, I don't answer my phone. If I get a text message from a number that's not saved, I don't respond. I literally just delete it. For anybody out there that's trying to get in contact with me, email me. Call me and leave me a voicemail. I'm old school. Leave me a voicemail. Say, hey, this is such and such. Let's talk. I'm not answering the phone for numbers I don't know. I get a call from a number I don't know. They call me twice. I bang. I bang that call so fast I send it a voicemail literally within the first 2 seconds. Boy, I get it. They leave me a voicemail. It's a lawyer from, I forgot what side of North Carolina. And he's like, I represent such and such. I call him immediately, start going on. What you calling my phone for? I don't care if you're a lawyer. I'm gonna talk to you and make you feel so small. This is not a court of law. This is real life, brother. I made this man feel so small. I think I scared him. So the man over the phone, who was a lawyer, said, yeah, I represent that company. There's been a lawsuit. Mind you, I worked in property management. He said there's been a lawsuit where one of the tenants, their ceiling fell on them. They got hurt. The fan hit them and everything. I said, what does that have to do with me? And he said, well, it happened earlier this year. And this is exactly what he said. He said the higher ups from the company, the home office in Texas, gave us your name and number. And I said, let me tell you something. I said, you tell those higher ups, I said, they could off and they better stop releasing my name because I have not worked there since last year. And I said, I also have information that will legally damage them. I said, so if your company don't want no problems, I think you need to delete my number. And this man got off the phone so fast. Because I put my suburban voice on. You know what I'm saying? I don't play. Here's the thing. I don't play with people. I don't even play with my kids anymore. I stopped like I joke around with my kids, but my kids are older. They're adults pretty much now. I don't do that. We could joke around all day. You know what I'm saying? We could kick it, we could clown around, but I don't play with people. So I expect that same treatment. If I just met you 10 seconds ago, I expect that same treatment. Don't play with me at all. Don't legally play with me because people will legally play with you, get you try to subdue to certain things or say certain things. Now you're all in the mix, and I have nothing to do with that. These people damaged me. They damaged my well-being at the time. They damaged my life, and they damaged my money at the time. Don't play with me. Yeah, because I got some stuff on y'all, and I'm not a snitch, but when it comes to legalities, it's all off the board. We could do whatever. But that situation that happened back then, it really put me in a place where I was angry. I've equated my emotional bankruptcy with my dealings with people on many times. And just to keep it way real, life be lifing, but I've had smooth sailings when it came to just me being alone and me not associating with people. A lot of the downgrades or the problems I've had in life have come from people. Whenever I'm just chilling in the cut, I ain't got no issues. I ain't got no issues. I try to keep my interactions with people to a bare minimum because people, and it's sometimes it might not be intentional. It's the energy that people bring. People bring bad energy. And I think a lot of y'all don't understand that. A lot of y'all do understand that. You know, when I was a kid, I used to always hear the term, watch the company you keep. Watch the company you keep. And it's not just always, quote unquote, people coming into your home. It's the people you hang out with. It's the people you speak to on a daily basis. There are a lot of people going through stuff and all they do is complain. Eventually, you're going to have something to complain about. Now, I feel bad for these people, but I don't want your bad juju on me. Now, I got people that are going through things and I will pick the phone up and I will reach out to them because I love them that much. I got family that go through things. I love them that much. But sometimes I need to protect my energy on every scale. And I suggest that y'all start doing that too. Cheers, the Boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 126, Emotional Bankruptcy. I love y'all. I will be back shortly. I'm out, baby. Yeah.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.